Welcome to my channel. You got Lost in Electronics. What we're gonna do today is we're going to review the Dream Machine Pro. This is just the beginning of the series on how we're gonna do. This is gonna be a two-part series. The first one is about the going through the Unifi Dream Pro, and then we're going to go through the Nano HD Pro for the capability of the Wi-Fi, and we'll go through some kind of features in that. We're going to go some basics on through this video, but we're going to go a little bit more advanced into the next. What we're going to be first going to be doing is you're going to be seeing on the screen is you're going to see the login screen here. It's going to ask you for your username and password, and we're going to go ahead and get signed in. It's going to take a few minutes to go ahead and get signed in here for you. You'll need to know your login username and password. As soon as we get logged in, you're going to see the name of your machine, and we got some settings here. We got the settings, user management, and you also got your network. So what you'll do is you'll actually click onto your click onto the network, and you'll be able to bring up all the ubiquity settings. And on the ubiquity settings, you're going to be able to see a couple different things. We're going to look at the internet capacity, the Dream Machine Pro, the switch, the access point, and the clients you currently have. We're going to go ahead and run a speed test here in a second, and it's going to show you what the speed test is going to run. And that's with my service provider. You do depending on whoever your service provider, it will make a difference on what your speed's going to run. I am getting a little bit better than what my package is through my provider, which I currently in this area is Spectrum. What we're going to be going through here in a second is we're going to go through a couple of these menus here after the speed test runs. And it's going to take a few moments for this speed test to do. It's going to run the download and upload speed. What we're going to do is we're going to be in here in a second. We're going to go through all the options, and we're going to start out with threat management system. And it will any kind of things that's going through. It will keep logs when you run a scan, and it will show you some scan when you run on capabilities. It will show you that capabilities of what's getting scanned. If you try to access anything, you're trying to run through Tor or anything else to be able to try to. It will show you if anybody like your kids or your family members or your clients or if they're trying to go through Tor or there. It does give you the capability to know what's going on. You also have the capability of looking at blocking countries. We are currently looking at the classic view here, so you will see like your date and time, your default, your settings, and you'll be able to. We're going to be going to the new networking settings here in a second. It's going to give you a list of your Wi-Fi network, so you can actually be able to see what your names of the Wi-Fi is, and you can be able to connect from that standpoint. We can check and see how long you're going to run it, basically when the speed test and what time how often it's going to run to verify that what you're paying for through your internet service provider you're actually receiving. Here in a second, we're going to actually be pulling up the WAN connection, so it will take a few moments for that to be able to there. On the WAN connections, we have two types of WAN on this device. We got a 10 gigabit through the SPNS plus connection, and we'll see the one with Ethernet. The one on the Ethernet where it says WAN is the one at the top, so that you can use. So we do have capabilities if you want to use the fiber or use the normal Ethernet connections. You will need it if you are trying to use the fiber. You will need an adapter to be able to make it work, to be able to connect to the cable. They're called SMPS plus adapters, which you can be able to find fairly inexpensive on Amazon. They run if you want expensive ones, around $80. If you want some more inexpensive ones, you're looking around about $16 or $17, what we'd see on average on what they would be running. It depends on if you want one that has Ethernet built right into it or you want to use some to use fiber, and we need to make sure you got the right fiber adapter for that. We are going through some WAN settings so you can see what you're going to have, IPv6, and go through those kind of capabilities. We're going to go through the smart Wi-Fi connection, which is really nice, especially if you have a lot of people in the area. So that way, your Wi-Fi will make smart decisions. Mine's set for every 6 a.m. to run, so that way, it tells me what the signal is, tells me what's going on. If it makes the need to make adjustments, it will make adjustments depending on where all the neighbors' Wi-Fi is here. I would show you a little bit where the neighbor's network is, but again, I don't want to block out all the network names here, so we don't want to go through this. I do have a couple different names of the network here to it will be giving you identification of basically all your LAN connections and your VLANs you can set up here, and we'll go to another video on how to be able to do that. You do also have hotspot access you can create for yourself, or you can make a design. We're going to go through the intrusion to prevention system, which is really nice to be able to use. So that way, if you do know if anybody's trying to attack your network, and it kind of gives you the corporate network feel without using it. And one of the things I do like about the Dream Machine is that it does not slow down your connection as long as you're not going anything above 3.5 gigabits. So a lot of times, most home-based connections don't really use that, unless you're running your own, unless you're having a fiber line or some kind of business class capability. So at residential account, this Dream Machine Pro is amazing for what you're getting for it. The average cost of the cost of this through Ubiquity's website is about, last time I checked, is $379.99. So you can directly order it through Ubiquity. This is not a sponsorship. This is just my personal opinion. This is my just as a channel here. So you do have a capability here, and I'm not getting. This is not a sponsored video at all. This is just all these opinions are my own and my own review. So this is one of the things we're going through on this. We're also having a capability. We're going to be going through content filtering, which is family safe, which is really nice, especially if you have any kind of kids and children. It kind of gives you the capabilities of going in there and blocking out the sites, and you may not want to be used, like especially like adult content and themes. So this is great for home users. They are marketing for a small business or a medium-sized business. I liked a lot of the features just as a home consumer. These are kind of expensive for a home consumer router compared to if you want to try to use some like probably like a Euro or a Google Mesh system. So they have some more inexpensive options, but this has a lot more capability. This is geared towards a small business, which is what I like about it. I'm both using a Cisco switch here and also this Ubiquity system, and I also have a son upstairs that also has basically has another Cisco switch there. So we do have quite a bit more running like my network, like a corporate network, and we do have VLAN set up to be able to kind of filter out for family and guests and things to kind of make our network a little bit more secure here. We do have firewall settings just like anything else, and you can set them up through all WAN, LAN, guest, IPv6 there. So you do have the capabilities. You have quite a few different DHCP options, dynamic DNS, UPnP. So like you can use things like your Xbox and things that you need to use it all, turn on and make it a little bit easier. This is probably a little bit less secure than just mainly signing the ports, but you do have a little bit of capability if you don't have to reconfigure everything. We're going to go to the switching ports, which if you are set up a VLANs, you want to make sure they can communicate to each other. We will need to make sure the VLANs are set up properly to be able to do that so that we don't have any problems with the capability of the VLANs can't communicate to each other. And we can be able to, we'll have another video about showing you how to sign the ports and going through the VLANs and set up a VLAN. That will be one of our other series that we'll be able to go through in here. Today is just about more of the review and going through the Dream Machine Pro. We will be able to go through the client group and showing you, like, if you want to restrict bandwidth, maybe you don't have an unlimited data plan, maybe using things like Comcast or other ISPs out there that have data caps. I'm with Spectrum, so we do not use data caps on our internet service provider. So I don't have any problem with that, but also gives me a capability of making sure nobody's using too much bandwidth. So if I'm not that way, I know that everyone's not using my internet when I don't need to. And it does give me a little bit more capabilities if you want to try to restrict things, especially if you're doing like a small business. Maybe you don't need your accounting to have as much speed of the network compared to maybe your information technology group, or even potentially have it where If you want to be able to kind of separate a pair to, you may need some other core business functions that you want to have more bandwidth it may need there. So it does give you the capability. It's under that client group to be able to do that. We are going through basically it does goes we're just going through a little of the vents, the vent logs, seeing what the kind of the different configurations there is. So it will take a few moments for everything to come back up here. We have going through all the areas. We are going to go to location and time. You can set up your NTP server, so you can. It will show you right there on your settings on the capability of just kind of the dates, the times, and what they're through the MTP server. We are going to go. You can use optimization through make sure that your Wi-Fi and also increase the timeout. So, and if you want to be able to create, if you want to do a capability of SSH, you do have the capability, but that's just the first part of the SSH. There is a second part where you would need to go in the settings, and we'll go through that one of the other videos. But today is just to getting through the basics. We are going to go through the general and showing you how to do like the firmware updates right there, so you can check and see if there's any updates. And when you come down here and scroll down where it says Udemy and there, you can actually check out if there is a firmware update. We'll tell you it's right there, so you can also create a schedule. So if you want to have an update or check for updates every so often, you can do that without having. I don't auto update because you never know how software is going to affect, and if you are in an environment where you have multi-family members or in the business environment, you may not want to kind of cut off in the middle of things. So it's always a good idea to review all the updates before pulling them. You do have a capability of controlling your firmware updates and the release numbers based off of through the vast update functionality. So if you want a different version or you want to set up to a certain version, you do have a controller current version users or what the name of your connection is and the general ubiquity information here, so that you can definitely can take a look at it. We are going through, this is the web portal, it tells you your version, it tells you your information about your WAN address and those kind of information there. You will see it where you go through the maintenance, and you will see your information from the capability of looking through the files, and it'll show you the auto backups so you can set up the times. You will have a login event if you have a controller set up for the capability of if you want to do debugging or go through sending the downloading the database or even going in through the map settings, so you can get a little bit more details on there on how the Google Maps for your validation where you're at. So you want to see everything else. We're also going to go through where they will have, this is going through basically your system statistics. So we're going to go through this. A couple there's switch there. It shows you what you're doing. It tells you what connection, where all the ports are, with the name of your devices. So if you want to see where everything's located at, it does give you the capability what port, what bandwidth it's using, how long it's been on. It does go and gives you a really good deal. You can actually break down based off of clients. You can see I have the two Galaxy S10s, and we'll have a review eventually on the Galaxy S10. I know the phone's been out there for a while, but we will have it one of the other things that we will see on how it's been changed to the years, and have a few-year-old phone and kind of go through some of the features and some of the things that we will be using when we're getting the new slight updates with those phones, especially with all these new UI updates we're going. We do have the system logs, so if you want to actually look at what's been connected to your network and who's been on and when those devices lose connection or reconnect, and if there's any threat management warnings, you can archive them and be able to have them. So you do have the capability of going through this, and it'll kind of clear the logs or what's going on. We're going to go back to the threat management. We can filter out the top of threat management based off of date. It's going to take me a few moments here. I was going to show you what's going to be on with the Nmap scan, but it wasn't triggering alerts. But this is if you want to know how to run an Nmap scan. This is some the basic information on how to run an Nmap scan. So it will run in the background. Looks like Ubiquiti has updated some information because it was a little bit more sensitive before, where I have my device on the exception list, or you normally would see it where it would come up on running the scan here, and it would pop up on the threat alert, which is what I was going to show here, but it looks like it's not triggering. But this is how you actually run an Nmap scan here. Make sure you do it on the correct timings in here, and what we're doing is telling how fast to run the scan, and we're looking for all users. But you can go to pull the man pages if you're using Linux onto the Nmap scan. There is quite a few great versions of using Nmap. It kind of where it identifies your stuff, shows you open ports, kind of gives you some basic information to knowing what's going on in your network. So it is a good tool to be able to learn, not way for security testing, but to just be in general knowing to basically how to look for your devices, and it's a great tool to be able to use. Right now, we just cleared the logs, and right now we're trying to again show what was going to go on the map scan, but it looks right now is just not picking up anything here. So we're in a few moments. I'm going to show you what an Nmap scan looks like if you do pick up one of your devices where you know is located, which is going to scan my cell phone, show me all the open ports that are currently attached to that devices, and then kind of show you what potential vulnerabilities we'd have on those, kind of know what shut down, or maybe what's running, or maybe things I may not realize are running to kind of basically secure that network at least a little bit better. Right now it's running in the background, so it's going to take a few moments, so you'll be seeing that in the background in the middle of this video here. As soon as you get one here, that we'll go ahead and skip forward here in the video here in a second. If as soon as this gets running here, so it will take a few moments for everything to come through here. Just to remind you, if you have liked our content, please go and click on to that subscribe button there. If you that you'll be able to see right on there, and click on the bell icon. Just kind of anytime I got some new ideas and new videos come out, it will kind of let you know what's going on. So please click on that if you like my content here. The Nmap will take, sometimes the Nmap can take a little bit of time to be able to run, so it will go through here, and we'll be able to run it here. I want to try to skip forward a little bit in this so we can be able to see it here. What I'm doing right now is in the background, we are watching the video from the Nmap scan be able to run through here, so it will take a few moments to run it, and this is scanning for all kind of open ports through this, and we'll go through some basic Nmap series here later on, and this is some of the future content that you can be able to see on this, and we'll have other Linux tutorials on how to kind of updates, and I have a couple other associates that are also going to be on this channel who is going to be going there. We also may see at the interest of other kind of content. This is our electronic channel, but I also going to plan to start an anime channel, and we do have a generic dog information on how to. There's some there. I'm not an expert on any kind of animals, but again, that's what's some there. I do have 2 dogs, so we will have some. I will have another additional channel that will go through this. So we do have a couple of different branch channels, but we'll go through those and let you know when those launch dates or what those other channels are about to start.